So tonight, we've got Edward Mills. So I know Edward and Shea go back quite a bit, and it's been really, really nice getting to know Edward through Shea. Just genuinely gentle and nice man. I know most of you here know Edward, so I'm sure that's not a surprise to any of you. With Edward's Law of Attraction coaching and his digital learning course, he supports people on their journey home to the innate greatness that they carry within. It's no small feat. It's a wonderful undertaking. Everyone is born with greatness, but through conditioning by family, culture, I'm sure we're all familiar with that, most people turn down their inner brilliance, choosing to play it safe in order to be accepted rather than run the risk of being truly seen. I am very familiar with that. I am guilty of that, certainly. Tonight, Edward is going to share with us his thoughts on the human energy systems and their connection to raw food. Please put your hand together for Edward.
How many of you have heard of the Course in Miracles? Neil Donald Walsh, Marianne Williamson, those who have popularized the ideas of the Course in Miracles. The key concept in that is this idea that there are only two emotions, two choices, two energies. The energy of fear and the energy of love. Now, what I'm going to be talking about today is my experience as I have moved more into the raw food realm, incorporating more raw food into my diet, and how that food and the choices that I make when I'm eating serve to align me and align my energy systems either with fear or with love. And in fear, you can lump a lot of stuff. You can lump lack, scarcity, poverty. I mean, that's what we're seeing out in the world this last year. Right? With all the craziness going on with the economy. We're seeing globally, culturally, collectively, we're going into fear. We're in the energy of fear. You know, we have glimpses of the other side. How many of you felt a glimpse of love when Obama was inaugurated? So that took us towards love, towards abundance, because abundance, limitless supply, goes with love. It goes on that side of the equation. But if you watch the news, how many of you watch news? Oh, good. I love that only 3 hands went up. One of the things I encourage all of my clients is just stop watching the news. Just don't do it. Because if you do, what are you getting? What are you being inundated with? Yes, fear. Fear. 100% fear 100% of the time. That's what it is. That's what it is. So tonight I want to talk to you because, I mean, I've been a healthy eater for most of my adult life. I can't speak for my childhood. That was out of my control. I was on the East Coast with parents who didn't know what a vegetable was. So that was out of my control. But since I've been, you know, a somewhat mature person, I've eaten fairly healthy. But it's only been in the past year that I have really embraced this idea of raw foods. And as I have done that, I have really seen some very interesting observations about how the food affects my energy systems, and I want to talk about that with you tonight. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about my background. Stephen gave a little bit of a bio. Thank you for that, Stephen. And thank you, Shea, for putting together this awesome event. It's amazing, and it's always here Monday night, so come on down some more. But I want to talk a little bit about how I came to bridge this world of raw food and the energy systems. And I'll start with the energy, because that's, you know, even for raw food people, probably energy systems may seem a little bit, you know, out there. But here's the thing. We're all energy. Everything is energy. You know, you can bang on this table and it feels pretty solid. It sounds pretty solid. But if you get a strong enough microscope and you go down and you look at what's really happening in that table, there's a lot of nothing. There's a whole lot of empty space with a few little particles just spinning around and moving around so fast that it gives it the appearance of solidity. So this idea of energy is not really that out there. Physicists are coming to learn and coming to understand and coming to agree with what mystics have known for thousands of years. Mystics have told us for thousands of years that we're all connected, we're all one, that we're all energy, that energy is all that there is. Scientists are now beginning to say, yes, that's true. So this idea of energy systems is actually not that far out there. And my first exposure to energy, you can imagine coming from the East Coast, grew up in a middle-class Jewish family, coming out to the West Coast, and having someone introduce me to a school that teaches you how to perceive, diagnose, and change your energy systems. You know, like your aura and chakras. I was like, whatever. But I went, I checked it out. I figured I'm here, I might as well have an open mind. And I went. And I immediately knew that there was something right there. There was something for me there. I knew I was supposed to be there. And I spent the next 3 years pretty much immersed in that work. Literally immersed to the point where I was so deep in it, I was practically non-functioning in the world because I was so immersed in the world of energy. And since then, I've come a little bit out of the energy world to root myself back more firmly in the physical world over the last 10 years or so since I graduated. And it's hot up here. Do you guys notice that? Never let them see you sweat, right? So over the past 10 years, I have incorporated energy work into my work as a coach, to my work as a trainer and a teacher, a seminar instructor. And it just sort of made sense when Shea approached me and said, would you like to speak at Monday Night Live? I thought, well, what am I going to talk about? At that point, I was, you know, sort of a raw food. I ate salads and, you know, stuff like that. But I thought, what can I talk about? What's going to be interesting that I know something about that people are going to go, wow, that's kind of cool. I thought, well, what about the energetic implications of what we eat? Not just raw food, but what we eat, what we ingest. And the energetic implications of how that affects us, how it aligns us with one of those energies, love or fear. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And as far as raw and how much raw I do, how many of you are actively, consciously adding more raw food into your diet? Excellent. And they, you know, no right or wrong here. There's nothing. One of the things I love about the raw food community is that everyone I've met, you know, even the people who are 100% raw, there's no dogmatism. There's no one out there that I've met saying, this is how you have to eat. You know, I remember when I first became vegetarian years and years ago, and some of those vegetarians and some of those vegans, they were like rabid dogs on you. Have you ever come across one of those people? It's crazy.